What's going on, everybody? Welcome back. Tonight we are going to be working on our cab lights. As you can see, one of the marker lights has cracked and started to fall apart, and we've got these blacked out amber ones that we want to replace them with. And so it should be a simple switch over of pulling these two screws out and replacing them. They should just plug right in, but these screws probably haven't been out in a while. So we're gonna start one by one, take them out and see how easy it is to swap. Quick, easy kind of cosmetic upgrade, should look super cool. So we're just gonna go ahead and jump right into it and get it started. So the new set comes with brand new stainless hardware, so we won't have to reuse these, but we do want to take these out nice and slow so that we don't strip them and get them stuck. All right, so those are out, and then we're hoping in the next few days we'll get a chance to wash this. It's lucky enough to have it inside, but it's too cold right now to bring it out and wash. All right, so the screws came right out. We'll go ahead and I'm just gonna use this card to kind of pry under and lift this. I'm not sure how the factory ones are sealed. Awesome. So as you can see, came out. It's good to see that there's no rust going through any of those openings. All right, so after removing the cap off of the light, you can see the wiring harness is plugged in here. And then the way these ones are wired, you actually don't need to disconnect this. This light is wired in just like the light bulb. So it will actually plug right into that, just like this one was. And that will give us our power for this light. So what I'm gonna do real quick before we go ahead and pull all of them off is we'll plug this one in, turn on the cab lights, and just make sure. And then before sticking them back down, these do have just a foam pad. There is no adhesive, but I do want to take our wheel and just clean up this area so that we have a nice solid fit and don't get any water in the future. So we'll go ahead and do that real quick. All right, so the first one is a success. We did have to adjust the direction that this was turned and plugged in. I don't know if it is directional, but it only worked one way. So we're gonna just test them all out as we plug them in. But first, we'll get this one cleaned up and get it back installed with the new hardware. You also wanna make sure that you have these guides and the brackets to hold the screws back in place. When we took the other ones out, they kind of slid. So just make sure those are covering back over the holes. And then, yeah, super good looking. And we'll pull all the rest of those off and swap them out. Other side, you can also see there's just a little bit of a gap at the front of these, but there is the foam underneath it. So I just wanted to double check on the side that I installed. I think with the foam being brand new, it still seems like there's a little bit more of a gap, but it is in contact with that all the way. I didn't want to over crank these either, just because the bases are plastic, but they are creating a seal, so that should be good. And then if after some time the foam settles a little bit, we can go ahead and tighten these a little bit more by hand. But we'll go ahead and start pulling the rest of these off now that we know the first one works. So just like this other one, we'll remove the light bulb from here, and that is where the new LED will plug in. 3 down, 2 to go. All right, so I'd consider that a successful install. Go ahead and turn the power off, kind of get a view from back a little. We've got a handful of projects that we want to work on this truck. But yeah, I think that looks really good. One thing is, if I could, I'd like to find another tank like that to go on the other side, because this side does not have a tank but has one of these steps. Pretty rusty, ready to come off. And I figure if I'm gonna replace it with anything, might as well have an extra tank on there. I like the look of that a little bit better. The other issue we have, the frame on this thing is actually in really good shape. This box, the underside, not so much. This fender, probably gonna try to cut that out. The box is completely dry. Which is one of the main reasons we got this. What we use it for is at our shop on the other side of this complex, we run this up to the loading docks, and we're able to back in and store all of our merchandise, and it keeps it dry when we're running low on space. And it's also got this lift on the back, which is helpful if we need to load stuff from another vendor. But all of this is just mostly surface rust, some spots, but the frame itself all the way down is in really good shape. Where we have an issue, and this is going to be, I think this will be the next part that we want to address, is up under here. If you can see back in there, that is an air tank for like a reservoir for the air brakes, and it does have a pinhole leak on the back of the tank itself. So I'd like to drop that out and get that replaced, so then we can go a little bit further on the roads without worrying. Also, we are set up with kind of mix-matched tires, and if I could, I'd like to get these replaced. We want to paint the wheels black and everything. But in order to do this, I know I'm trying to figure out, just go ahead and buy a whole brand new set, or see what other sizes might be available locally. But it's not terrible on tread, but I prefer they all match and us be able to be comfortable driving and getting equipment. But yeah, we've been super happy. This really needs a wash is the main thing. We got it for such a good deal. I don't really want to dump money into it since it's already serving its purpose. It runs really well. And this bezel here is one that I'd like to replace. It goes through the F650, 750 kind of thing. And then this is, even though this is the 95, it goes all the way to the newer one. So they kind of kept this part, some of this changed. Probably gonna pull this out. We can paint that black. You know, it just is, the door stuff was definitely someone just left magnets on there, and what happens is moisture gets built up between that and causes surface rust. The next thing I want to try to do though is this controller. So first of all, down and up are definitely flipped on this. So when I push up, nothing happens. Well, regardless, we got to get this switch figured out and fixed up because I would like to go ahead and use that deck. I know it will go up and down, and we've done it before, but it's not reliable enough where I would trust sending anybody with this out to go pick something up. All right, so we quickly decided to take this apart. We switched over the wires, so our up and down are now correct. And we tested it. It ran down really strong and goes back up when you push the button. So let's see if it goes back down. Yeah, I mean, this is definitely the first time this has worked this well. So hopefully that fixed it all, and we'll have a functioning lift gate. What I'd really like to do, and I'm not sure if it'll work, is to be able to store this mower in here. When we're in the summer, we've got a pretty big area that we need to mow here. If we could not have to drive the trailer around or just toss that in and out. So maybe one day we'll swing this down and see if we can lift it up and put everything in there. But yeah, everything is now working. So that is a win for tonight. So we are going to put this back together. And I did look online to see for replacements. So it might actually be something in here that was kind of getting loose, but right now it seems to be working, and it seems like a very simple part. So there's not much that could go wrong in it. But if the contacts or something just aren't working, that could definitely cause the issue. So I'm glad to know it's not under the truck or any of that stuff, and that all of that's working. So that is a small victory for tonight. That's gonna wrap up this video. Super happy to get started working on this. Fortunate enough to have a place inside to keep doing this while winter finishes up outside. But yeah, we're gonna slowly chip away at it piece by piece. But man, everything on the inside has been absolutely awesome. It's all original, but it's still in super good shape. And it starts up every time. So definitely super fun vehicle. Want to use it for a lot of different things, not just at the shop, but mainly in the winters when we need it for hoodie season. Fills it up quick. But the summer, I don't know, maybe take it camping, fill it with dirt bikes, put the jet boat in there, come up with some stuff. So if you guys like this video, go ahead and subscribe, because we'll definitely be having more videos on this truck and a few other projects coming up. Thanks.